Hi everybody, welcome to Amy Nolte Music. The thumbnail says that Billy Joel is the master of key changes. What I really wanted to say is that Billy Joel is the master of taking you through many keys and having the relationship between each key remind you of where you've been and take you to a new place and prepare you for where you're going, but it didn't really fit into a thumbnail, so I did my best. And if you look at the thumbnail carefully, you will see that there are 7 check marks coming around the left side of the circle of fifths. It means that Billy Joel, in one song, manages to take you through all of those keys, like C and F and B flat and E flat and A flat and D flat and G flat and B. And I'm not just kidding around with that. I need to show you about it. In order to see the extended version of this video, you can sign up for Nebula. More on that at the end of the video. Let's get into Billy Joel. All right, the song that I'm talking about is, of course, She's Always a Woman. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies. She only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. We're in E flat, right? And mostly we stay in E flat except for that cool little G7 that leads us to C minor, which is the relative minor of E flat, right? So it's not too much of a departure, but this is such an understated melody, and I think it's this part of the song, it's all about the lyric. Now, how about this though? This is what I'm talking about. We're gonna go to that relative minor. We're gonna go to the C minor. And this is where he's going to start to take us through keys. I'll play it once. Oh, she takes care of herself. She can win if she wants. Well, she's ahead of her time. So right now, we've started in C minor. We've gone to an F7, which is a 2-5 in the key of B flat. Oh, we go to E flat here. We're thinking like, is E flat the 4 of B flat? Like, are we in B flat now? And this is just the 4? But then she can wait if she wants. It turns out that no, E flat was simply leading us to A flat. But E flat leads us right back to where we were earlier, to the 2 of E flat. She's ahead of her time. So, I mean, we flirt with the key of B flat, and then with E flat, and then with A flat, like 3 keys right there. Then we take this E flat major and turn it into E flat minor. And he's got this motif, right? And he does it again. And then he changes it. Now he raises it. Everything's different. We're in a new key and it's higher. Oh, and she never gives out, and she never gives in. She just changes her mind. And if that isn't text painting right there, I don't know what is, because he has led us all the way to B or C flat, right? And then he changes his mind and he puts us right back with a nice little B flat chord that leads us to where we were, E flat. So I think that's really cool. But go back with me to E flat minor, right? Then this becomes the 2 of D flat. Now we're A flat. It's like A flat over C. I'm going to talk about that bass line in a second. And then we're in D flat. Then we go to the 4 of D flat, which is G flat. But G flat actually is the 5 of C flat, which is where we go next. Then he has to change this melody to get us back. And it's just so poetic that it happens on the chords that are going to take us back. Have the lyric, she just changes her mind. It's so beautiful. And I mean, of course, he could have just kept going around some circle right here, but it was time to end. And that kind of brings me to Billy Joel is like the master of the bridge, because in a way, like I said that this song is all about the lyric, and it is. It's telling you all about this woman, right? And it's telling you about how she's different than other women. She's super special and she's not perfect. Like, she's got some dark parts, right? She can ruin your faith with a casual smile. She hides like a child. She's always a woman to me. And she leads you to love. She could take you or leave you. Like, this is a strong woman he's talking about. And he's already kind of set that up. But when we get to the bridge, it's like he's saying, now I'm really going to tell you about her. And I'm going to do it by kind of reminding you of what I've already talked about, but taking you to a brand new place and twisting your emotions so much that, like, you kind of forget where you've been and you're focused on where you are because you're thinking about where the heck is he going to take us? We're going through so many keys, right? Where are we going to land? Like, how far is he going to take us? And you get to the end of it and you get out of this focus on the now. And he tells you that she changes her mind as he changes his mind to bring you back to what he's already been doing, which is, another verse with another brilliant lyric. And so this bridge reminds you of where you've been. It leads you on a journey that has you captivated while you're there. It heightens things and then it takes you where you're going brilliantly, which is, I guess what a real bridge in real life does, right? Like, you can be on a bridge and you can look back from where you came and you can be looking at where you're going and you can also be focused on where you're at. And I just think that this bridge does that maybe better than any other bridge. And there are two components that make it happen for me. And the first is the motif that I talked about. That. It's like, if we're in E flat, which we were, it's like do, la, ti, do, re, la, ti. And then it becomes do, re, mi, fa, do, re. But we land on the third of the next place where we're going, right? So somehow he uses this motif so cleverly because now we're going to D flat. And so actually we're on the third of the minor chord. I don't want to get, so deeply into it. I just want you to recognize what a genius he is and how he keeps this motif. Then he changes it to take us back. So we've got this motif that just, doesn't it just sound like you have to do it again? Like, it sounds like you could just keep going and going, and you could. But the second component is it's the bass line. Right? Oh, she takes care of herself. She can win if she wants. How beautiful is that? She's ahead of her time. It's gorgeous. It's another motif that does what it sounds like it's gonna do, right? It just sounds like it needs to go ba da 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 da, right? The way that Billy Joel can take a motif and make you know what it's going to do before he does it, and then sometimes surprise the crap out of you and do something different is, it's very classical in nature, isn't it? It's, and he was classically trained at a young age, and we know that he loved Rachmaninoff, and he loved Chopin, and he loved Beethoven and Bach, and he's even written some classical type music, and I think that this song is a perfect example of how he grew up with this kind of music in his house and understands the way to move somebody through a piece of music. Now, Billy Joel, like I said, he's the master of a motif and moving the motif. And I just want to talk quickly about another song, Anthony's song, where he does this brilliantly, I think. Sergeant O'Leary is walking the beat at night. He becomes a bartender. This is, it's just clever. It's catchy. It's upbeat. It's cool. It doesn't do anything that crazy, right? Except for going Cadillac or heart attack. But I want to talk about the little interlude. that. Like this motif on the minor third again. Ooh, up to the 11 of the G minor. There is nothing to do in the world except for to play it again right here. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that could be done. That's it. It has to be done. And Billy Joel sets you right up. He plays you a motif and he lets you know there's something to predict. There's something to feel like you've landed on. I think it's so pretty. And sometimes I wonder if he subtly lifted this from Layla, Derek and the Dominoes, you know. It's similar, but it's not the same. But I love it. Both cases, I love it. Let's talk about these choices in Vienna. Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. Then if you're so smart, then tell me why are you so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. But you know that when the truth is told, you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. Why don't you realize Vienna waits for you? Sorry, thanks for indulging me, but I couldn't stop. We're in G minor. We move to B flat. So he likes this relationship between the relative minor and major, right? G minor to B flat. We go to the 5 of B flat, but then this is a different one. We move to A flat. It's the flat 7. And we usually, when you're going to use that flat 7, you use it as a substitute for the 5, and you're just going to come right back to where you were, to the 1. But he doesn't. He kind of uses it as a 4 for the next chord, which is E flat, which is the 4 of B flat. So he steps outside of the key, like he's almost going to move to E flat. And he does, but then he comes right back to B flat. I don't know if you can hear it. There's the tonic, and then we go to the 5. But then we come up to that flat 7. And we go away back to the E flat, but then we come back to where we were before. This is a secondary dominant chord. I mean, it's not quite dominant, but it's like the major 2, right? And then he just moves us up one more to D, which is going to lead us right back to G minor. It's really hopeful, kind of, in a way, to just move up from B flat to C to D, back to G minor. And then, I mean, we do this chorus. This isn't so novel, really. Now he's going to move us to G minor with a 2-5. There's that secondary dominant again if we're going to move to B flat. But out of nowhere, we go G flat 7, maybe G flat 9. Why don't you realize? I played that bad. Realize. This is just a half step up from the 5 of B flat. Vienna waits for you. That's how I think of it. It's just the neighbor tone to the 5. But yeah, you sidestep that 5 chord and come right down to it. And it's unexpected and it's beautiful. I like to talk about Uptown Girl. Uptown girl, she's been living in her uptown world. I bet she's never had a backstreet guy. I bet her mama never told her why. I'm gonna try. This is familiar territory. We're in the key of E and we're just moving around diatonically. You can find all of these chords if you just play an E major scale and then you build triads off of each of those degrees. That's where we're getting these chords from. They're just out of the key. They're nothing out of the ordinary, but it's a heck of a lyric and a great melody and a great feel, isn't it? So I'm going to look at when we're going to go to the, I guess it's the chorus. And now she's looking for a downtown man. 4, that's what I am. This is the melody note. He's just going to lift us to C. Now C is not E, right? E's got 4 sharps, C has 0. But it's like another neighbor tone, right? We can just climb and everything's going to change. And this is where he's going to tell us more about her, just kind of like in She's Always a Woman. He's talking about what kind of a girl she is, right? And he's going to get a little deeper into it right now. And when she knows what she wants from her time, this is nothing special. We're just 1-6-2-5ing. And when she wakes up, she makes up her. He could have done it again, but he doesn't. He goes to an E chord, which is where we want to end up, right? And then you kind of think that this is going to be minor. That's what I would probably do. Billy Joel is, several steps above me, and he wants to make it happier than that. So he's like, and when she wakes up, she makes up her mind. And we're going to go to a happier place. It's major. She'll see I'm not so tough. It's funny, I think. Just because. So we've it's like we're in the key of A now, which is, the 4 of E. And we're going to go 1-6-2-5 here. She'll see I'm not so tough. Here's the 2 of A. Just because. And then how are you going to get back to E? All you have to do is turn this B minor chord into a B major chord. I'm in love. And he does it with the melody. Just because I'm in love. And then we're right back with an uptown girl. I love it, you guys. I think it's so cool. Arguably my favorite Billy Joel song. If you search for tenderness, it isn't hard to find. You can have the love you need to live. And if you search for truthfulness, you might just as well be blind. 'Cause it always seems to be so hard to give. You think it can't get any more beautiful, but you can hear what comes next in your head already, right? You can hear the chorus. I'm not going to go there quite yet, but we're in B flat. It's the 4, this is the 5. We go to the 3 minor, which I always think is beautiful. 4, 6, I can't go that low, so I go need to live. And this is the weird chord. Like, right, we're in B flat, but he actually plays A minor in the key of B flat, which is out of the key and works, doesn't it? I don't know, man. You can have the love you need to live. I think he just wants to lift you. He uses that melody note. I love it. He changes everything right here by going to the 5 of 5 and another 5 of the minor 3. Well, be blind. And back to the 4. It always seems to be. This is really unexpected. We go from the 4 of B flat to an A major chord, which is the 5 of D, which is not in the key of B flat. Be so hard to give. It's like, it's so unexpected. Usually if I'm going to play an A in the key of B flat, it's going to be a half diminished. Always seems to, be so hard to give. Like that to me that's the thing everybody else would do, but not Billy Joel. Always seems to be, he knows he's got an A. He's already used A in some kind of strange way when he did the A minor, right? I just kind of wonder if he thinks, now I want to go to an A again. I've got an A in the melody. Why not just make it major? And then this is going to it's going to surprise the crap out of everybody. Always seems to be, and it's such a jump to go from E flat to A. It's like, it's a long ways and it's a tritone, right? But if you look at the actual voice leading, it's not that crazy. This note has to come up a half step. This note has to come up minor third, and this one a whole step. So it's pretty cool. Like to hear it here. You could go down. It's an interesting sound to play around with, isn't it? Be so hard to give, and out of nowhere we're in the key of D. We started this song in B flat. what are we going to do? We're just going to sidestep again, just like we've done in the last two tunes. We're just going to move up. Honesty. And to me, I wonder if E flat is functioning as the 4 of B flat, right? Like we're just going to go back, but he doesn't. He recalls that D that we've just been messing around with. Honesty is such. There's the melody note. He uses a D chord to lead us to G minor, which is the relative minor of B flat major. A lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. And we're back to B flat, but boom, right up to E flat. Honesty is hardly ever heard, and mostly what I need from you. And I mean, I didn't even talk about the intro to this song, which uses B flat to B flat minor to G flat. Oh my gosh, and you guys, that reminds me of the bridge, because he uses this interlude, like this intro, to lead us into the, you can find a lover, right? I can find a lover. I can find a friend. I can have security until the bitter end. I really like that this is, we've got this G. I feel like it goes to F sharp, and then to F over on this B flat 7 chord. Ooh, and then E. And then we keep going down to E flat. Ooh, anyone can comfort me with promises again. And I know. And we're back to B flat. It's a really beautiful, clever, honest, I mean, the song's called Honesty, a very honest bridge, I think. And I really like the descending line that allows him to be able to move to new keys again. This time, I don't think it was the melody. It's not a special melody, but that line that descends is special. He's pretty darn deep. And I hope we continue to get amazing music from Billy Joel. I know he just sold out Madison Square Garden, and he can do that anytime he wants. Yeah, God bless Billy Joel. Go listen to his music, for Pete's sake. My gosh. Like I said in the extended version of this video, you'll be able to see me take these journeys, these chord progressions that Billy Joel has taken us on, and I'll expand on them more. I'll talk about how you might be able to use these chord progressions to improvise or to make up your own melodies, things that Billy Joel might have done had he not done what he did. Anyway, it's another small journey or tangent that I'll take you on if you sign up for Nebula. Nebula is a streaming service much like Netflix or Hulu or YouTube, but it doesn't have ads ever. You won't ever hear me pushing anything to you there, I promise. And signing up for Nebula will not only get you this extended cut video, but it'll also get you bonus videos of mine that you won't find anywhere else, like my recent concert that I played in San Diego with my friend Leonard Patton, or my full-length video all about my favorite Beach Boys song, Surf's Up. Lots of other creators that you already know from YouTube are over on Nebula as well, doing the same thing as me, giving you extra content, more than the average YouTube watcher's attention span can keep up with. At least I hope so. There's also classes on Nebula, and I have made 4 of them so far, and I've got more coming soon. First one is about creating motifs, like strong motifs like Billy Joel made, like we talked about here in this video today. How you can actually come up with your own melodies, just like Billy Joel did, but for your writing and for your improvisation. I've also got a 2-part class, each of them about an hour long, called Everything I Know About Chords, where I take you right from the beginnings of how to play a C major chord and a C minor chord, and I take you as far as I can possibly take you to talk about chords like, E7 sharp 9 over B, slash chords, polychords. We really get into it, and it's a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, I also have a class that I made with my friend Adam Neely called Amy and Adam Play the Blues that I think you'll like a lot. Signing up for Nebula is $30 for the year if you use the code that you see right here and get my discount. Not only will you have access to my classes, you'll have access to Adam's class. You'll have access to Mary Spender's class. You'll have access to Volkgeist's class. Many classes, plus you'll have access to just the entire platform, which is the same for other creators as it is for me. Every video you ever see on YouTube is on Nebula, but it's there without ads. And it's there first. I put it there at least 24 hours before it'll land on YouTube. In many cases, like 72 hours as well. Extra features like PDFs. If you're on Nebula, you just go to the description of the video. There's a URL that will take you right to the PDF. There's a lot of perks. Plus, it's the best way that you can support me if you enjoy my channel. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time on Amy Nolte Music.